safe?
I don't know.
Is it safe out there?
Looks like we got some
All right.
rambunctious people maybe out
I think
there.
it's all clear. I think we'll be okay.
Okay.
How'd you sleep last night, Keaton?
Oh, pretty
I
well.
slept just fine. You know why I slept just fine?
Because Jesus is in
Psalms
charge of the country.
47. Psalms 47. Read the whole thing.
What psalm?
Psalms 47. If you're feeling a little anxious this morning, you can read Psalm 47. Let's just do the whole thing. What do you say?
Sounds good to me.
Clap your hands, all people. Shout to God with loud songs of joy. For the Lord the Most High is to be feared, a great king over all the earth. He subdued peoples under us and nations under our feet. He chose our heritage for us, the pride of Jacob, whom he loves. God has gone up with a shout, the Lord with the sound of a trumpet. Sing praises to God, sing praises to our King, sing praises. For God is the King of the earth, all the earth. Sing praises with a psalm. God reigns over the nations. God sits on his holy throne. The princes of the people gather as the people of the God of Abraham. For the shields of the earth belong to God. He is highly exalted. And there you have a map of Pennsylvania. Where God reigns.
He reigns in Pennsylvania.
You bet he does. Because it's part of the earth, right?
Yes.
And God reigns over all the earth. So, we were just talking. We totally should have live streamed all night long.
We should have.
done
We
our
should have had like
KROG
TV
election
up.
coverage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if we'll be looking for that, we can get Tom in here and Pope and some other folks, and we can have a big time. So we'll remember to do that in the future.
Yeah. When Donald Trump goes for his third term.
When he goes for his third. When I'm rooting for Ivanka in 2024. Oh yeah. Don Jr., Ivanka, I don't care. One of them. I think
keep
they'd
it in
be
the family.
great. Kayleigh McEnany, she'd be great. Who's that gal up in South Dakota?
Joe Jorgensen?
No. No, the governor of South Dakota, who,
I don't know.
like, we missed seeing her when we were there by, like, a day because we were in Deadwood, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they were having the PBR in Deadwood. And it
When
started
she
the
was
day
in
after.
Livingwood?
Yeah. Deadwood, man.
I
Come
don't
on.
know what Deadwood is.
There's I'm calling your dad.
Okay.
There's something sorely lacking in your education that you don't know about Deadwood, South Dakota. But no, she opens the rodeo by like riding in with the South Dakota
The
flag.
governor?
Yeah,
That's
the governor.
awesome.
Yeah, she's amazing. And she's like, I ain't shutting down my state. And they stayed open the whole time. I mean, it was, she's awesome. But
Did
so
South
here we
Dakota-
are. What now?
South Dakota went red.
Yeah, it did. You should have seen it. Like,
You can't have your governor ride in on a horse and go blue.
no, I don't think you can. But when we were up there, like everywhere in Springfield, like you find a Chinese restaurant, the same like density of locations would be Trump pop-up stores. So it's just like all you see those pop up with all that. They were everywhere. And granted, they were probably there. We were there the week before Bike Week, and of course that's the Sturgis area and all that too. So they were probably getting ready for that crowd.
That's funny.
But we had a good time. Jack picked up a T-shirt. I got a hat, and some stuff. You're about to spill that.
a Biden
No.
2020 hat?
I could, I don't think you could have found one if you wanted it. So here we are going to try to break this down. Oh, Diane thinks we're a hoot. Thank
Your mother-in-law,
My
Diane?
mother-in-law, Diane. Thank you, Diane, for thinking
You two are a hoot.
we're a hoot.
We're a hoot.
So here we sit.
Hoot.
Here we sit, right? And depending on who you talk to, Trump's got it in the bag. I think we're all a little nervous about that. I think what's clear is it's probably going to wind up in the courts. That's unfortunate anytime it has to go to the courts because you just, this needs to be like running for high school student council. Mm-hmm. You count the votes, you declare the winner,
Yeah.
and you go about your business. Mm-hmm. But we don't play that way anymore. And I think the big fight is going to be over Pennsylvania. I think you and I were running some numbers earlier before we started the show.
Doing my hillbilly math over here.
The official tally right there. We think it comes down to Pennsylvania. Mm-hmm. We think President Trump has to take Pennsylvania to win.
Nevada and Wisconsin are leaning towards Joe.
Right. Although
Not
overwhelmingly
completely,
so,
yeah.
no.
Michigan, Georgia, North Carolina, and Alaska are leaning towards Trump.
Strong.
Yes, and if he gets all of those but doesn't get Pennsylvania, then Joe will win.
If Joe gets those two here. So here's what we know.
Yeah.
We've got 1, 2, Nevada and Wisconsin that are currently, Biden is leading.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got...
But only like 60% of the votes in both of those are in.
Not a large vote total is in, and he doesn't have a big lead. Mm-hmm. So those could flip, and then we've got the 5 that are where President Trump is leading, and he's leading strong. Mm-hmm. With a significant number of the votes already counted, because most of them, except for Alaska,
leading with, of course, Pennsylvania only has 64% counted, but he's leading by like 500,000 or
it's a 12 point lead.
600,000 right now.
Yeah, it's a 12 point lead. And you know, here's the thing: I don't know how they figure out what those percentages of counts are in places like Pennsylvania, because Pennsylvania has already said,
they're like,
if you get your ballot tomorrow or Thursday or Friday, that's okay. And that's why it's going to end up in the courts, is because Pennsylvania is such an important state in this election, and they've probably done the most chicanery, that's your word for the day, chicanery, with their electoral process, because the U.S. Constitution vests the authority in local state legislatures of who decides the election laws. And so the General Assembly of Pennsylvania decides what the rules are for voting in Pennsylvania. And they did that, but then the Pennsylvania Supreme Court came in and said, well, no, we're going to change the rules. We're going to say you can vote late. If the ballot comes in late, that's okay. We're going to count it.
Because they want hometown Scranton boy to win.
Well, and he didn't. He did not win in Scranton.
What?
Thanks, Andy. You agree? I'm glad. Thanks for watching, by the way.
You know, I thought of a funny joke last night when I heard that Joe Biden was born in Scranton.
It has to do with The Office, I'm sure.
Yeah. I said, that just shows how much of a joke he is, because he was born where The Office is based.
It could be. But they said, the Supreme Court in Pennsylvania said, we get a ballot in Thursday, Friday, count it. If it's not in the correct envelope, count it. If it's not signed properly, count it. If it doesn't have a legible postmark, count it.
That's a bunch of crap.
Well, it's just, I mean, it's like, so all of the things, all of the things that we have done to ensure that we have a fair election has been kind of tossed out the window in Pennsylvania. So what's going to happen then is there's going to be a legal challenge. There's actually already one filed, because there's more at stake than just the presidential results. So there's some House seats. There's 3 House seats that are potentially affected by this result as well. And so there's a lot of people fighting over that, but the Supreme Court of the United States gets to come in and say, no, the way you changed your law violates the U.S. law, because your court changed it, not your legislature. Yeah. And so that's where that fight's going to come up. But the question then becomes, where do the vote totals end anyway? But we were watching just before the clip of President Trump talking. He said, we were winning all these states, and we're getting ready to declare, and then they just stopped. They just stopped. They have never stopped counting before. You remember 2000, where it went forever.
Yeah.
Now, do you remember 2000?
No.
No, you don't remember 2000.
Because I was a year old.
Because you were a year old. In 2000, they didn't stop. They counted for days. And they had like, I think Stan Whitehurst, our local county clerk here in Webster County, went down to, golly, what was it? That county in Florida, Broward County in Florida, that had all the trouble. Think back if you can remember that. They had people from all over the country going down.
Going in and
counting votes.
Were they having a recount or just?
So way back when, in ancient times, we used to put our ballots in this little kind of plastic thing, and there was a little like dull nubby, and you would punch them, and you would not punch the chad. It was called a chad. We learned the word
bunch
chad.
Of words today.
Oh, yeah. No, back then, the word chad was, people dressed up as a hanging chad for Halloween. It was such a big deal. So the debate was, you'd punch these chads out and make a hole in the card, and then you would feed the card in the machine, and the machine could read where there were holes in the card, and that's how it counted votes. Well, there was such a contentious election, and Florida was the big deciding factor that election, that they were going back and hand recounting all these ballots, and people were going, well, this one's been punched, but it's hanging, so it's attached, and do we count it? Do we not count it? And they're like, well,
Like
is it hanging by 2 corners or 1 corner?
Oh my gosh.
It was a big deal. And so that went all the way, and so that's Bush versus Gore, or Gore versus Bush. I can't remember what the style of the case is. But it was a big deal back then. Hey, if you guys are watching, and we got a lot of viewers this morning compared to normal, which isn't
It's weird.
which isn't a real high hurdle. But if you'd like to comment, ask a question, we'd be happy to talk about that. We're not going to go forever this morning about this, but
Well, I watched it pretty late, so I'm kind of an expert.
are you?
Uh-huh.
Okay, I'm listening.
Oh, no, that's all I have to say. I just wanted to throw out that I am an expert.
Well, I think all eyes are going to be on Pennsylvania, unless we get results. If we can get confirmed results from Nevada, Wisconsin, Michigan, Georgia, North Carolina, Alaska, and it all goes Trump, does that do it?
Mm-mm.
It doesn't do it, even if we give them these.
Mm-hmm.
So 213 and 16 is 229.
You're doing math on a live
245, and I'm an English major. 260, yeah, that gets it. If he gets all of these except Pennsylvania, then he doesn't need Pennsylvania. But he's got to pick up Wisconsin to not and all the others to not need Pennsylvania.
Oh, Wisconsin, yeah.
Yeah, if you give him Wisconsin, which take a look at Wisconsin.
So Wisconsin is only
We got 95.
21,000 votes off.
Yeah, but there's
Point and a half.
95 counted.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So he's probably gonna.
probably not going to take Wisconsin, which is too bad.
There's a lot of red in there. It's just
Well, there's
those
always a lot of
stupid
red. I mean,
populated-
geography-wise,
yeah.
there's always a lot of red. All right, everybody, I think that's our show. Unless you got anything else. Thanks for watching. Stay
Hey,
safe.
if you guys
Stay
can
friendly.
send in a bunch of votes to Pennsylvania, they're gonna be
Apparently
counting
they're
them
gonna
for a
count 'em.
couple days.
Yeah, just mail them up there. All right, thanks, everybody. We'll see you later. Bye.